It is a big, crazy world out there. How do you change it for the better? Stick around. We're going to figure this out today. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dan from MillennialMotivator.ca, helping you learn how to create, engage, and inspire. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button down there, the little bell. You'll get a notification when I go live next. We put out videos Monday through Saturday here on the channel, helping you to grow your business online through digital marketing, social media, YouTube videos, video content, as well as just overall how to be a better entrepreneur and, today, person. Today we're looking at how do you change the world to make it a better place, okay? And this may sound like this flimsy, esoteric, hippie waving flag nonsense, and that's not what this is about. In fact, some of those flag waving hippies out there, you're going to notice actually made some relevant positive change to the world through the actions that they took. But what I want to give you guys today are things that you can actually leave from here, from this video, from where you are sitting right now, when you're done watching YouTube today, and actually head out to make a positive change in the world that will have ramifications for decades, all right? So, without further ado, let's go. All right, guys, the first tip I'm going to give you on how we can make a positive change in the world is stop being a keyboard warrior. And I've got to tell you guys, I'm guilty of it. I'm sure some of you out there are guilty of it. But whenever a major either catastrophe or event happens, political event, social event happens, everybody with social media now feels as though it's necessary for them to give their opinion on the matter. And most times I see this degrading into pointless, futile battles of two differing ideologies. And now, whether that's conservative and more liberal, alternative, whatever, it's not overly fruitful. And the reason why is it often degrades from constructive criticism, where people are openly considering the ideas from both sides in order to formulate an opinion, into mudslinging, personal attacks, and just a complete lack of awareness for the problem and more focus on defending their ideology. So the first thing that you can do as a positive thing in order to change the world for the better is this. Humble yourself. Take the keyboard and unplug. Give it 20 seconds before you sit down to type something. Read it. Go through your Facebook wall. I don't think that's a bad idea, okay? And I'm not saying don't contribute into dialogues and conversations about important things, like which political party to vote for, where do you stand on gun violence, where do you stand on guns in schools, where do you stand on Black Lives Matter, where do you stand on race issues, sex issues, feminism. Those are all important things to have an opinion on. My suggestion, though, is this, guys. Have an educated opinion on it. Listen to both sides, okay? Make sure that when you do speak, or type in this case, or post via Instagram on a topic, make sure that your bias, everybody's got it, a bias is going to come out, but make sure your bias is focused directly to the problem. Don't target people, ideologies. Target the problem itself. All right, so here's an issue. Here's what I've heard from both sides. Here's the solution one side is presenting. Here's the solution the other side's presenting. There's probably 1,000 different ones in between. Then, after you've taken the time to actually think and reason through where you stand on the issue, then if you absolutely must, speak into the situation. It may not always be necessary for you to speak in the situation. Okay, so first one that I need you guys to consider is, am I improving the situation through what I am saying, okay? Is it improving the situation, all right? Okay, so the first thing that we looked at was, am I improving the situation by adding to it? Is there something that my putting in a comment is going to add to? So let's say we're having a conversation hypothetically about guns in the US. I think guns are stupid. This is clearly not adding to the conversation, but it's also not given in a positive manner. There's a negative tone to it, guys. And what I've noticed most of all, if you want to change the world for the better, you need to be better, okay? What does this look like? What does this mean? It means this. When you are contributing, so is it productive what you're contributing? Is it something that's going to add to the conversation and create new thoughts or create better dialogues about what's going on? If so, great. Now, the next step is, how do you communicate what you want to add in a positive light? The best way to do this, guys, is actually stop and consider if somebody gave you the feedback that you're looking to give, the input that you're looking to give into the world. If somebody gave it to you, would you be offended in the way that it was given? Now, I know for you guys, not all of you are Toastmasters out there, but one of the big ways that we go about giving criticism inside Toastmasters is when you give a speech, it is crucial and vital that you receive criticism. It's actually one of the things you look forward to in order to improve. Now, as we're going through that though, oftentimes what will happen is your review will look like this. I think your speech on X, Y, or Z was really good for this reason. I would personally suggest that you work on this, this, and this for these reasons. But remember, your speech on this was really fantastic for this reason. Now, when you communicate like this, what it causes you to do is a couple of different things. First, you're not automatically looking for the negative in what you have seen and what's going on around you, right? You are striving to see the positive in what is happening, okay? Don't be a pessimist. Don't be the one that goes, there is no positive. It's always negative. There's no good. There's good in everything. You have to see. You have to seek it out. You have to look for it. You have to search for it. Find that first. Once you found some good in the situation, then address the problem. What is it you see that needs to be fixed? What's the criticism that you can afford to give? Then follow that up with reiterating, well, there is something that we need to fix. Ultimately, there is some good that can come of this here, right? So, how do we improve the world? 1, be productive. 2, focus on positivity. Bring some positivity into it. So often I find that we go into these dialogues about hard things, religion and politics and social ethics and morality. We go at these things and we're already geared up and ready to brawl. We've got the gloves on and we're all tightened and ready to throw our punches, and we've got the ammo all loaded to just go nuts. And the reality is, guys, that's so detrimental. We have to realize if we're looking to improve the world around us, the best thing that we can do is go at it not with an air of combat, not of I'm gonna brawl, let's do it, let's battle. Instead, it's about how do we collaborate to bring things to be better. How do you do this? Can you picture a business meeting where all you did was sit down and get ready to fight with everybody else at the table? I promise you, you would not be welcome back to that table again very soon. A person who is out there simply to argue for argument's sake, to defend some personal bias or morality, is not going to be invited back to the table. Why? They're not productive, they're not positive, they draw attention away from the issue, and it's not going to aid anybody in solving any further issues. So, first up, you've got to be productive in what you're adding. Second, you've got to be positive about what you're putting into it. That doesn't mean that you can't afford to give criticism to a topic. But when you're doing so, make sure that the criticism is given in a positive way. It is possible to do that. It takes effort. And most of all, it takes you resisting the urge to spew your bias onto people. You have to stop, you have to consider what you want to say and how you want to say it. All right? Now, what's last? Last but not least, guys, you got to be productive, you got to be positive, and the last one, and possibly the most important of all, is you have to be compassionate. You have to genuinely care about the people out there, okay? So, whether you were a fan of Obama or not, whether you were a fan of Trump or not, the reality is this, guys. Do you genuinely care that those people are in the office that they're in, okay? And I use Obama and Trump because we've got both sides that are very radically for or against either of those candidates, depending on which way of the coin you fly, right? Same thing here in Canada. You've got Trudeau, you've got Harper, okay? I wish I could do it globally. I can't. I don't know all the political parties of all the countries. But for North America anyway, we've had a great view of what this can look like. Now, I, for one, am baffled when I see people saying, I hope they fail. I hope that Trump fails, or I hope that Trudeau fails. That is mind-boggling to me. That you would have so little compassion and care for a person that you would wish that they fail. Especially a person that has such a critical and crucial position in the world, right? You talk about the President of the United States or the Prime Minister of Canada. These people have massive global influence, massive global responsibility. Their choices change the world like this. To wish failure on anybody like that is baffling to me. If anything, you should be doing everything in your power to equip them to do better. You should hope that they blow you out of the water, especially if you're somebody who lands on the side of the coin that you are not in line with their particular viewpoints or platforms. I know that's the case here for me. I have to be honest. For me, guys, being a keyboard warrior, I have been guilty of this. I'm sure we all have at some point, right? The reason I'm putting this out here, guys, is I'm challenged, and I challenge myself every day to improve. Make sure that if you're contributing to dialogue, you're taking the time to do this and show some genuine compassion. Do I agree with everything that Trudeau does? No. Do I agree with everything that Trump does? No. But I want them to succeed. I want them to grow, to be better, to challenge their biases, to go with their gut instinct when they feel it's appropriate. And I want to be able to try to support them in the decisions they make, not solely for the sake of, well, I'm doing it blindly because of who they are. That's not it. I want them to succeed because if they succeed, I will succeed. What is the extension of this for your business or your personal life? Can you imagine being in a marriage with somebody, okay? Your spouse is sitting there next to you and you wishing that they don't succeed in their endeavors and what they do? How mind-boggling is that? That somebody that you are tied to that closely and that deeply and that dearly, and you don't desire the absolute best for them. Now, take that to the next extension. Imagine people that you're working with, right? These are people that you work with every day, either your clients or your coworkers. How could you possibly wish that somebody in that environment would fail? You want your clients to succeed. You want them to do well. Not just for the sake of it makes you look good in your business, but because it makes them look good. Because it's an amazing thing when people succeed. When people do well, it's a great thing. This really came to mind today, guys, as I was reading through the comments that I hadn't replied to on this channel. I went through and I replied to everything today, and it's amazing where people keep throwing out, oh, Dan, it's great to see that the channel's doing so well. It's so great. It's so awesome. And in my mind, all I can think is the only reason why this channel is doing so well, why it's so awesome, is because of you guys. It has very little to do with me. I show up, I turn a camera on, I talk. What amazes me is this: the community that shows up, watches the videos, retains what's given in the videos, and then shares that out to people, talks with people, gives people these ideas, and new people every day are coming to the channel. Genuine care for people, saying, oh, this could help you improve. I want you to check it out, see what it does, right? I love doing this because I'm hearing stories regularly now. I'm pointing over here because I've got my YouTube comments here, but every day I'm hearing stories of people that go, I watched your video and I tried this and I did this and we're going to do this thing over here because of it. And that is awesome. I love to see people succeed, guys. So the first thing is positivity, right? You want to be positive in what you're doing. You want to be productive in what you're doing. But most of all, you want to be compassionate to the people around you. Realize they're people like you and me. We make mistakes, we screw up, and that's okay. But the reality is you want people to succeed. You don't want people to screw up and say, oh, there goes the screw up. You want them to succeed. You want them to do better. So have that out of you. Have that beautiful view of every person out there. You want to see them succeed because if they succeed, we all succeed. So how do you change the world? Be productive. Contribute to the world and its issues in a productive manner. Be positive. It's easy to be negative. It's easy to be critical. But even when you're being critical, guys, make sure that there's positivity in it. You are giving that critical feedback not for the sake of being critical, but for the sake of being helpful. That's right, compassionate. You want people to grow and get better, which is the last point. Be compassionate. Have a genuine concern, care, and love for the people that are around you and what they're doing. And when I say that, this channel's mottos are really built around that idea of engage, inspire, create. Be out there being a positive force, doing amazing things, guys. I know this isn't the usual business video that I do. I know it's a little bit more emotional and you know, lovey-dovey, mushy-gushy, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm willing to put out a video like that every now and again. To all of you guys that have been here, all of you guys that have been here on the channel from the get-go that have helped grow it, share this message, a huge thank you. Not only you're helping me succeed, I've seen so many points of feedback, so many emails, so many messages from all kinds of people saying, this is it, this is what it's about, thank you so much, it's got me geared up, it's got me ready to go, I'm ready to kill it. So to all of you that are a part of this channel and this community, thank you. I do appreciate that you're here. That is it for today though, guys. Question of the day, how are you going to change the world for the better? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you tomorrow with another great video. Catch you then.